Welcome back to Sacred Therapy, guys. Yeah. I feel like Spirit is calling me to, I don't know, just walk and talk and see what happens. So we're going to do another forward facing video because the way my schedule is set up, it's a little chaotic. Let's expound on those types that we were talking about the way your energy affects others around you in those toxic or traumatic environments. It also matters that you recognize that the lens you see this experience in may come from a dark place, just automatically, and sets the tone for your interactions with people and your tone and just how you show up. But also, like, be mindful of what's legit. Like, people is gonna show you who they are depending on what's going on. And more than that, you're gonna find out who you is. All over again. Cause I'm gonna tell y'all, it's hard. It's hard to be in environments that I feel like at any given moment, some random shit can go down. That's how we'll put it. Or they waiting for something to go down. Or even unintentionally instigating some shit to go down. Because it's a lot of posturing in these environments. Let me break it down what I mean about posturing. So, I am definitely up to, we won't say competing, but we'll say opposing energies, right? Both masculine and feminine, right? Everybody is on the spectrum of those energies as your own energetic signature. And as the observer in this life experience, right, we have an obligation to acknowledge all of the experiences. It's 7:53, guys. So again, we have that spiritual hour around 7 p.m. at night. And again, I'm not going to give y'all my location, but just know I'm in one of the hoods I grew up in for the majority of the time when I was growing up. In them very, like, defining formative years from, like, 8 to 13. Where you really establish yourself in a social way. And those habits, we talked about kinesthetic learning in the last video about being planted in toxic slash traumatic environments. So at the same time, I'm seeing where the energy is still out. It's still out here. I'm seeing where I still, show up in that lack type of energy as well, and it allows you to close those doors if you choose it. But you definitely have to choose it, Because some people, their advice, they just looking out, they just doing whatever, is in their impulsive genetic coding, right? They don't stop and think like, why do I feel this way? What does that mean for me internally? Because they too busy externalizing it. Yeah, she did this, she did that. That's what I'm saying. It's important to make those shifts and like mind framing the situation, So what? Out here is chaotic. Again, I'm walking that street where the other main street, literally a block away, is the main one, Everybody be doing too much on. Let's just put it like that. And you can see it. Especially for those of us struggling with like one foot inside that old mentality, you know what I mean? Like, because she's sleeping, she's not dead, But if you're not careful and you're not doing stuff out of intention and you kind of just, all right, I'm going to go with the flow. Well, it's hard to go with the flow and take experiences with a grain of salt at the same time if you know that you don't tend to do shit halfway. That doesn't mean that you can't shift gears though. Make a new choice on a new day and really do something positive for yourself. Again, y'all see I'm not walking and talking perfectly, but I'm just channeling messages from spirit. I in no way, shape, or form embody perfection, but I do have eyes. I do have my own perception and my own spin on this thing that we all collectively call life, right? So regardless of my gender identity, my ethnicity, regardless of any external experiences, if you find this video and this message resonates with you, regardless if you are living in the same situation or a better financial situation or whatever it is, wherever you fall on the spectrum, right? Because we know this shit operate on the spectrum for sure. Different social spectrums. And I'm so sick of it. The current status quo is wild to me. Like, it is real depressing. That's why y'all seen the faces I was making and all of that. And I be drowning this every hour with music. I really do. I'm gonna need to bring another phone with me so I can drown them out even further on these walks. But anyway, at least nobody's talked to me and the traffic has died way down. It's almost like a ghost town out here when it starts getting cold, so perfect time to walk and chat. Try to plant some life into myself on these walks too. Notice things differently. Shift perceptions about me, about other people. You know, just really try to be in the present moment. Because a lot of these, we'll call them, because what breeds a toxic environment, right? Like generational curses, generational mentalities of just misery, right? So I guess we're going to break down the different levels of misery, right? Probably some common knowledge from somewhere. Oh, just stepped in a bunch of mud, but that's all right. That's what happens when you do neighborhood walks in the rain. It's a little slippery. You know, let's talk about what energies counteract those other emotional energies. And talk about control, right? In a toxic environment, people are reacting because they feel like they can't control where they are. So it's an automatic shift into defense mechanism. Not just the guarding, but an actual, like, anybody can catch these hands at any point in time of the day, right? That type of vibe. Or catch these words, or, you know, very ego. You will respect me at all costs type of energy. And I've operated there. Like I said, I'm gonna keep it real. The wind's really cooperating today. Mother Nature got our back. It's hot in this cold. It ain't that cold yet. But it's Ohio, so you never fucking know. Yep. I spoke too soon, bro. If you hear some things in the background or hear people slow up, it's because, like I said, they trying to pick me up. In my last video, I said that I know those of you guys that are here now, maybe just only clicked on this one, don't know nothing about that yet, but I'm not doing shit. I'm out here for a different reason. So whatever everybody is got going on out here. That's they business. You know, there's no concept of that from an ego space. You could talk to these people until you are blue in the face, but it's just not their reality, not even their perception of reality yet. And I could people, you know. And it's also my own perceptions too. It's pretty out here. There's trees, houses, slabs of concrete. Somebody else could come here and see paradise, you know? And that's the thing. That's the whole point of the walks, is to think bigger than yourself, right? To start giving what you crave from other people back to you. And I've seen the seeds plant differently for different people, or they pick up different things, you know. There has to come a point in time when you realize that other people's perceptions is just that. We're not responsible for translating our freaking selves every moment of the day to everyone that we meet. That's why I be saying, like, you gotta know exactly who you are when you come to these spaces and what you're made of and what you already learned. And you can't do that if you're in a state where you're trying to run from it. Trust me, because I've been in that state. This state is different. Talking about it, confronting it, getting my own way, because it's private, you know. And even though this will probably be a public video, there's still, you know, certain matters that I'll keep close to my chest, because, as I said, the intentions is genuine, but whether people pick that up or not, it's not a guarantee, especially not in this environment. And that's what I'll say. It's not a guarantee that everybody's intentions is as genuine as yours, and it's very disappointing when you find out your true value to people. But at the end of the day, them experiences, those exchanges of energies, however they occurred, could be romantic, could be platonic, could be a number, a variety of situations, right? Family. We're all human. We all get put in different positions. I gotta move over here and show you guys this moon. And I know my videos be random, but like, do y'all see that? Do y'all see that shit? Yes. Before the car tried to run me over. See, I don't give a fuck out here. I'll be weird. I'm confident in my weird little nerdy loner spiritual ways. I don't have just one definition, right? And in a way, coming home was honoring my own inner child. I feel like originally when I came over here, I was in a different headspace, right, than where I'm at now. This has been 2 years, right? Almost. At the end of this month, it'll have been 2 years. So what is that, 23 months? Yeah, that number 5 is real significant since we talking about change and energy transmutation. The energy transmutation has to happen inside you, though. You know? You gotta breathe life into your own experiences. It's not hard. People make it super hard. It's real simple. As simple as you change your mind on what you want to eat or drink is as simple as it is to switch gears and be like, you know what? Actually, I do believe in that, but this isn't maybe the way to go about it. Because this right here, that's too comfortable, you know? Because people can get real comfortable. I've done it. You've done it. We get comfortable and we show our little ego selves, right, to people. But you also got to acknowledge, like, with that come consequences. With that has to come accountability. Y'all check this out. Y'all can really see it. Y'all still providing you the arm workout while I'm walking. Because I did go back to the house and was like, whew, my arms feel like they did something. And I also do it because, well, you gotta get your movements in, you know? Can't be living those sedentary lifestyles clear across the board. Well, at least I can't. And be comfortable in my own skin. I have to have movement. I have to have some type of flexibility. I gotta be comfortable in the body that God granted, right? And I feel like that's the common human goal. Or else why would there be a need for a health market, right? Grooming, all that. That's what I'm saying. You gotta think outside the box. This might look like random rambling, but y'all catching a real life thought process and downloads as they come. Because I just be walking. And Spirit already know how I work. The guardian angels already know how I work. Stuff pops into my mind. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's definitely from spirit. Because that was good, you know? Because it was something that was new to me too. So you know it just didn't come from your own brain, right? And it's not a forced thing either. Like, I feel like we all have moments. And sometimes it's hard to discern, like, is this a guardian angel type of voice, or, you know? I'm saying everybody has good intentions that do hear things or know things about energy too, because it does matter what you put out into the world, because you do get that back. And as light workers, you're out here trying to transmute energy. Make sure you focus on your own energy, your own stuff, your own vibration. That's the only thing in your circle of control. And once you accept that, the need to escape is kind of crazy. And instead it becomes, let me get my to-do list to done. You know, let me be productive. Let me do things that make me feel good about me. Things that make me just fall back in love with me. Fall back in love with spirit. Because hell yeah, all of these experiences serve a purpose. Now we got bright street lights, guys. But this is like probably the best view of the moon. Whoops. See if I can get, yeah, right there. Bam, y'all see that? Just sitting up there. It's the full moon. Yeah, the one with no pole attached to it. Oh my goodness. Well, it's also important to realize, like, spirits, whispers, them gentle hints, them gentle guidances that you can't explain, right? Because I'm not about to break it down for nobody, you know? At the end of the day, in your unique situation, once you master that mind over matter piece, so you might not agree with everything in this video because some of it, of course, is personal, especially without the cards. Even though that's kind of how I channel anyways. Use my experiences as guiding posts for lessons I've already mastered, things I've already done. Now, I like walks, food, you know. You gotta do what makes you feel joy. More of that. Because this whole entire life, oh, somebody don't make it that message out here in the street, but this whole entire life is a gift. We gonna get it out real strong. I'm gonna say it again. This whole entire life is a gift, and even if what you see isn't all that, what you've been experiencing, what you've already been through, I'm gonna keep saying it. All you gotta do, make that next right move for you. you know. Just trying to leave the world with some gems before I go. Like some wisdom from being a freaking diamond in the rough to being the diamond. You know? A diamond before it's cut is raw. And it might not still look too pretty. But it's not a lump of coal. Now, let's talk about these masks. Because people wear all type of masks. Ooh, that shit took all my hoods. This one kind of feels like it's trying to take my hair down. Like that. Yeah, we're going to leave that up. Because this bun is not bunning back there. Gotta fix some things. Okay. There we go. That's also why I walk. I get my spine back into alignment. Because I don't want that forward neck problem. You know what I'm saying? People be all hunched over, they posture and stuff. My grandma used to tell me that. Oh yeah, and another thing about going, if you went back home or to a childhood place where that's where your trauma comes from, even if it's rough now, like, there is good memories. I did mention that briefly when we were discussing toxic environments, but there's a lot of good. It's a lot of love still out here in the hood, you know. It's good people, you know. And like I said, when you try to build community, you try to build, you know, various levels of trust with people. And not so that they depend on you or your advice or your light, but so they know how to hit the ignition again on their own in a stronger way where it can battle all these other external forces too. But keep in mind, they're the ones that have to hit that ignition. They're the ones that have to press stop and go and switch. Alright, so you also can't get too attached. Let's also talk about why in these environments do some of us feel like we gotta put on the cape, or is that all of us? Comment below. Do you feel like you gotta put on a cape in your toxic environment, or do you feel like you're looking for somebody with a cape? Or have you put the cape down? Because honestly, at this point, I'm just existing. You know? And if the energy is dope, and, you know, even if it's tough, you know, I ain't saying that people can't have situations going on and be valued, because I definitely have a lot of friendships rooted in childhood, rooted in experiences. And even though we may or may not have kept in contact throughout the years, there's one powerful truth that we do have, you know, as people who come from, you know, environments where you have to survive. There we go, the ghetto bird is we're looking for it today. If they're looking for me, they found me. Shit. Just like the motherfucker did. Just bigger. I might not like it. But like everything that, you know, the powers that be doing. But at the end of the day, I feel like we could fix it. Maybe that's where it stems from. Y'all feel like y'all could fix it? Heal it? Have you healed? Have you healed from the traumatic stuff that has went down? From the people that you see when you come to these areas, from the memories that they bring up? Are you focused on the present? Because the present and the future, once you focus on that, it shifts from the past to why am I giving that shit so much power over where I am today? Doesn't matter what I did last week, last month, last year. Because all I have is right now. My dad kind of made me think about that too. He used to tell me all I got is right now. I can't do nothing about the past. That's not to say it in the like I don't take accountability, because I definitely do. I made choices, sometimes from my ego space, sometimes a mixture of the two, right? Some situations some situations are confusing, right? Being planted in toxic environments can be confusing to navigate. So make sure you check in on your people. Make sure you keep in contact with your strong friends, the motherfuckers that act like they got it all together. Alright? Because we all just out here trying to figure us out, trying to figure out our purpose. And we all got big dreams. They're not impossible. They're closer than you could ever imagine. It's just the perception. Your own perception. So, I'm gonna leave y'all with that. I hope y'all have a good day or night whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you next time.